Testing, testing. One, two, one, two. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
How are you?
Yeah, we're good. Yes. We're good. Sitting over there. This is the plan.
One, two, one, two. Can you guys give me 2 minutes real quick? Because I got these officers that want to introduce themselves. They're going to be posted outside during our meeting.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Officer Galazov. Officer Galazov with the 47th Precinct. I hope everything, goes smooth today. We're going to be outside if any issue pertains. We'll be here for you, all right? All right, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Officer Martinez Romero from the 47th Precinct. I hope you guys enjoyed this evening. This is my first time attending to one of these events, so I'm looking forward to see what's available.
Can we have your name again? Can we have your name? Can we have your name again? Can we have your name again?
Officer Martinez Romero.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys are ready.
El bastón.
You ready? Clint. They're ready.
Pero now I'm weird. I gotta put mute.
Yes. You only need 21. 21. You got
¿A
41
dónde lo
words.
pongo, David?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, we're about to get started. We're about to get started. Are we ready? We're ready, right? Okay. Okay, everyone, good evening, good evening, good evening. We're about to start the meeting. Can everyone focus? And let's start. So, give my spiel. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the monthly meeting of Bronx Community Board 12. My name is Clinton Mike, and I serve as the chairperson. The executive team consists of first vice chair, Etonia Davis, second vice chair, John Isaac, corresponding secretary is Judith Benitez, recording secretary is Jaslyn Farmer, and treasurer is Tolene Dickerson. Today is April 23rd, and our start time is 7:16 p.m. Thank you. So up first, stand by 1 minute.
Who grabbed the community speaks? The community speaks. Who signed? Who has the paper?
Board members, I have a question. Is someone capable or able to take the minutes today for us, as our secretary is out? Somebody handle that? Just for today, maybe? Someone? Anyone? Take the minutes? Tolene will help you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start now. Community Speaks. Joseph Urbina, Uptown Family Enrichment Center. Welcome.
Thank you. Please allow a moment while we get the screen shared. Are we all good?
You ready?
Yep. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Joseph Urbina. I am the director of the Uptown Family Enrichment Center. Hello to you, too. Today, I just want to start off by thanking the board for the time that you've allotted in today's meeting. I have a very special presentation for you all. And full disclaimer, this isn't the first time you've heard from me or a representative from our team, so some of this may be familiar, but it's very intentional that we share it today, because as we've been around throughout our community for the past year, I've realized, as we promote a program, especially as the one that we are here to speak on today, there's sometimes misinterpretation in who we are, what we do, who we serve, and how we do that. So today's presentation will be very informative in that point. Does everyone have access to seeing the slide? Speaking to those online. Okay, great. As I said, my name is Joseph Udbina. I am the director of the Uptown Family Enrichment Center. I'll share a little bit more information on that in a moment. Before that, I just want to introduce our team. I am one of a team of 4, but it doesn't stop there. We have one community liaison, Brother Guy Lovin. We have 2 family advocates, Ms. Chanel Edmonds and Mr. Tyrone Spivey Jr., as well as several other members of our team, our Associate Vice President, our Quality Assurance staff member as well. But beyond the staff on payroll, I just want to highlight that this program is nothing without the community that we serve and the community that supports us in service of our neighbors. Next slide, please. You're going to hear a little bit about family enrichment centers today, or you may hear an acronym, FEC. Each family enrichment center is unique to their own neighborhoods, their own backbone agency. We are with Bronx Works. And while you hear a little bit about this model, I want you to know that regardless of the connections and services that we bring from our backbone agency, the Family Enrichment Center model is truly rooted in community, and you're going to like what you're going to hear in a moment. Next slide, please. On the screen, you'll see some bullet points about an introduction and what this program is. But more important than what's on the screen, I want you to listen to the actual literature that this program is rooted in. That's the abridged version. But I want to read directly from the source so you know what it is that we do, all right? Family enrichment centers are welcoming, family-centered spaces that are co-designed with parents, caregivers, and community members. They focus on strengthening families, promoting children and family safety and well-being, and preventing factors associated with child abuse and neglect. FECs aim to achieve these outcomes through peer-to-peer, relationship-based, and community-driven support and decision-making. Now, I know that was a few sentences right there, but please don't let that go over your head. I'm gonna rewind a little bit. We focus on strengthening families, promoting child and family safety and well-being, and preventing factors associated with child abuse and neglect. We aim to achieve these outcomes through peer-to-peer, relationship-based, and community-driven support and decision-making. There are now going on 30 family enrichment centers throughout the 5 boroughs. And today I represent the Uptown Family Enrichment Center. We serve, we prioritize, we are here for the neighborhoods of Williamsbridge and Baychester. But just like all 30 FECs, we're open to all neighborhoods and all communities, all ages and abilities, regardless of your background, regardless of anything that you bring to the table, the FECs are available for you. But today I'm going to be speaking about the Williamsbridge and Baychester FEC, named by the community as the Uptown Family Enrichment Center. No 2 family enrichment centers are alike. Each reflect the cultures, strengths, and identities of its family and community members. If you go to Brooklyn, an FEC may not feel the same way or look the same way as one in Harlem or the Bronx or Manhattan. Because the individuals, the families, the stakeholders of the community that get involved with these family enrichment centers, they shape the experience that anyone has at an FEC. Strengthening families has 5 protective factors: increasing connection and belonging, and improving access to resources and supports that are central to the FEC's practice in achieving the model's intended outcomes. While FECs are open to all community members, the model intentionally prioritizes families and children, particularly those who are more isolated and face systematic barriers or who have been historically underserved or under-resourced. Think about Williamsbridge. Think about Baychester. Think about this Uptown Family Enrichment Center you're hearing about, and how this free resource that's rooted in community, that's shaped by input such as our residents that are here in attendance today, or even you board members here. What we do in the FEC world directly translates into every single household in our catchment area, even those beyond. The model recognizes that families are best supported when they are viewed as experts in their own lives and engaged in consistent, culturally responsive, and strength-based ways that honor their knowledge, culture, and lived experience. The model also emphasizes the importance of opportunities for families to connect with other caregivers and neighbors, to access additional supports when their needs extend beyond what an individual FEC can provide. When you think about 30 family enrichment centers throughout the 5 boroughs, every one of them serve differently. Some of them have ways of providing for their community based on what their residents are asking for. But what we all have in common is we're not here to say that we have the answers. We're not here waving a solution in front of any resident. We're here providing a resource, a home-style, welcoming environment for parents and caregivers alike to bring their families to free of charge without tapping into any of your private information. No commitment necessary. You can come to an FEC and never step foot in one again, but know that you are always welcome and encouraged to return. And when you come to these spaces, we're not here to say we have the answers to whatever challenges, obstacles, interests, or problems that you may present or are facing. But we are here committed to be present and hold space with you and others so you can all use our resources and our facility to discover solutions and opportunities so you, as the experts of your households, can solve those problems, discover what's working well, and how can you capitalize on that further. And I don't mean that in the sense of making money. I mean, what is going well and how can we double down? When you think about a family enrichment center, I want you to think about the generations beyond those of us that are here today. I want you to think about those that came before us that have paved the way for what we have as a privilege today. The Family Enrichment Center resource, this model, exists with one sole purpose, and that is a preventive service. So that way our children and our youth don't have to succumb to child abuse and neglect. So that way our parents can take back their power and be of service, not just to their household, but to their neighbors, to their children in the various schools, to everyone that they cross the street with. This is a resource that is having community in the driver's seat. The staff that we have, whether it's a community liaison or our 2 family advocates, we are in service of our parents that join us. So that way we are creating what's necessary that only the parents know what is needed in their community. Just recently, we had a mother and her 10-year-old daughter host an event at our Family Enrichment Center. And this simple event, it was a slime event. But this 10-year-old girl, she's learning event planning, project management, budgeting, promotion, all in the form of soft skills and learning through play. In her mind, she was just building a slime event for other children to enjoy. But deeply rooted in that event, the mother and child were bonding. They were challenging one another, stepping out of their comfort zone. And with this, I want to speak to some other details that we have. We have 5 protective factors. You may also associate them as the values of this program. Every single thing we do in the Family Enrichment Center is rooted in these 5 protective factors. That mother, that daughter, when they were building out a slime event, they were building it based off these protective factors that are rooted in strengthening families to overcome child abuse and neglect. A simple slime event created an environment for those isolated families to build new social connections, for parents to explore parental resilience and learn more about the knowledge of parenting and child development, for children to explore with their parents social emotional competence of children, youth, their friends, their neighbors. Everything we do, it can be a simple bingo event, but what we do is rooted in strengthening families. Regardless of anything that you hear today, I wanted to make sure I read exactly from the literature to you all on what this model is. Because there's this 2 sentences that you really need to meditate on. Not because of an obligation, but because of the opportunity that it comes as. We focus on strengthening families, promoting child and family safety and well-being, and preventing factors associated with child abuse and neglect. And we aim to achieve these outcomes through peer-to-peer, relationship-based, and community-driven support and decision-making. As you hear about more information throughout this presentation, I want you to think about those two sentences. Next slide. I mentioned we have 5 protective factors. They're on your screens now. Parental resilience, social connections, knowledge of parenting, child development, concrete supports, social and emotional competence of children and youth. Every single decision that we make in our program not only is informed by community input, but is rooted in these protective factors. We position ourselves to strengthen our family households by promoting these protective factors. Next slide. If you didn't know, a family enrichment center, this is not a child care facility. This is not an after-school program. We're not a community center. We're not a senior center. We are a family enrichment center. We are a home-style, welcoming environment for anyone, regardless of their age, ability, or background, to call their home away from home. Some people come to our space and they seek resources for concrete supports. Others seek community. Some people come to our space and they look for what can we do for them. Others look for what they can do for others. There's no right or wrong way on how to engage with a family enrichment center. But there is one thing you must know. This model is real. It exists. We're operating throughout the 5 boroughs. We really are rooted in community input. Community drives what we do. Whether you're a resident from the Edenwald houses, the Eastchester Gardens, any of the local libraries, public schools, charter schools, wherever you're at that we've been presenting this presentation at. Whether you've come to our town halls, our open houses, or if this is your first time hearing of this resource, just know we have a storefront near you, right off the train on Gun Hill Road. We're located at 3535 Holland Avenue. And there's a few details on the screen that speak to our facility. Whether you're in a wheelchair, whether you're somebody that you like different hours versus others, maybe you don't want to come to an event or an activity. You just want to be in a space. When it's cold outside, you want the heat. When it's hot outside, you want to cool down. You want to use the restroom. Your baby needed a private space. You just happen to walk in and we have activities taking place. You may be meeting some new friends. Regardless of your reason to come into a family enrichment center, my number one priority is just making sure that you all know that this resource exists and that you're welcomed. We don't pressure you to come, but we encourage you to. We want you to be here. If you come to our FEC on any given day, you'll see that regardless of what event is taking place, whether it's for older adults, parents, children, caregivers, teenagers, or anyone in between those gaps, it's never as special when the community is not present. The place comes to life when you reap the benefits of the space. If I don't hear children laughing, enjoying events, if I don't hear parents asking questions, bonding with one another, are we really open? Are our events as effective as we think they are? Since we started hosting events in October, we've been throwing spaghetti at a wall, darts at a board, based off of the suggestions and input, whether anonymous or by name, from our residents. We've hosted workshops, trainings, various experiences. I want you guys to come and be part of our Family Enrichment Center and shape what we do next. Next slide. We have a community-driven approach. We don't have all the answers, but we have the resources to support you guys so that way you can discover these answers and solutions yourself. The other day I was giving a presentation to some families and a mom says, hey, is it possible that we can get ballet classes at the FEC since you don't charge for your services? I've always wanted my daughter to learn ballet. I tell parents, yes, we can call any of these local CBOs. We can find a way that we can make an affordable program that we can pay and you come and reap access free of charge. But I can't guarantee that for you. But in that same conversation, Another parent comes in and says, you know, there's a CBO, that community-based organization, that provides these same services in the summer at the park free of charge. And now 2 mothers are connecting over a resource that, regardless if it was promoted at a FEC or not, they came into connection together under the same roof. A mother that expressed that she needed somebody to join her for a personal appointment now got support from another parent in the FEC. So that way now, hey, they're supporting one another. That is parental resilience. That is concrete support. That is social connection. Next slide, please. Regardless of what you do, there are plenty of ways on how you can get involved with the Family Enrichment Center. As I mentioned, there's 30 of the Family Enrichment Centers throughout the 5 boroughs. But for the Uptown Family Enrichment Center, which serves Williamsbridge and Baychester, I have some information on the screen for how you can stay involved. You can follow us on Instagram at Uptown FEC. You can call us 929-645-1861. 81. Or you can call me, 347-767-8845. Regardless of what number you call, what account you follow, or even go to our website at uptownfec.org, just know that we are accessible and we do want you involved. Remember, we are more than a child care space. We are more than an after-school program because we are none of that. We are your home away from home, where parents and children can come and access community in ways that they haven't received in the typical after-school program or community space. If there's anything that resonated with you guys today, whether you're virtual or you're in person, please stay involved. It's more than what we can do for you. It's what can you do for your other parents and children in the community. Think about what's been done for you and how we can pass that forward. Since we've opened up our site, we've served our older population, we've served our adults, our middle-aged adults, we've served teenagers, children, 10 and under, 10 and over, all sorts of parents, caregivers, whether they were going through postpartum, grieving the loss of a child or a parent. We are a space that, while we are not perfect, with every single person that joins our resource, you make us just that much closer to perfect. Because you alone are the Family Enrichment Center model in real life action. So I implore you all, stop by, visit us for a cup of coffee, tea, or water, or just to say hi. We're at 3535 Holland Avenue. Right now we operate Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But if you look at our calendar, which you can see in person over here as a printout, or even go to our website at uptownfec.org, you'll see that we have various programming taking place Monday through Friday, mornings, afternoons, evenings, or even on the weekends. If there's anything that you see that you like or don't like, your suggestions really have an impact on what we do next. If there's anything you would like to see, any connections you'd like to see us form, please make those suggestions. Because without you, we're just a roof and 4 walls. We're just staff. We're just another program. But with the community, we're a family enrichment center, a preventive service for all ages and backgrounds. I look forward to speaking with you all again. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
No questions? Great.
Thank you. Next, we have Denise. Okay. Denise, you have 2.5 minutes. Thank you. 2.5 minutes.
Thank you. Hi, my name's Denise Echeverria. The Haven City Church is a church in the Bronx at 2 Van Cortlandt Avenue. May 2nd, they will be giving, in collaboration with Hope, they will be giving 30 pallets of food to 30 different churches and starting a pantry workshop. In conjunction, I will be volunteering with the Latino Carpenters, and Local 79, Brother Anthony Reed will be also volunteering. We do need volunteers or people to just show up there. That would be to show their support. As we know, we do have families that sometimes need that little extra help. And especially in these times with no affordable housing, single moms, and with the situation going on with ICE, people being scared to ask for resources, thinking they can possibly be deported. All these factors into more food pantries in the Bronx. We need more food pantries, and this is one way of doing that. And I welcome you guys if you would show up. It would be a beautiful thing to see you. May 2nd, 2 Van Cortlandt Avenue East. It starts at 9 o'clock to 1. If anyone wants to see if their church can still register, I'm not sure if all the spots have been taken already. Please see me. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Next up, we have Donald Sibley's. 2.5 minutes.
Hello, Donald Siblis. Still concerned about our transportation on White Plains Road. I know everybody who's walking or driving, and even with the new supermarket, it's challenging to use our business areas if you cannot park. I was dropping my father off the other day, and I was told not to park there, but I mean, he's coming out of the car, he's elderly. It's hard to find places to even discharge passengers, period. And if you're an accessoride, it's probably even worse if you had to stop on White Plains Road. They're a wider vehicle, there's nowhere to stop. So I'm hoping we can rally as a community to not have the bike paths underneath the train. I'm not against bike paths, but underneath the White Plains Road underpass, because it's going further down to Allerton the last time I checked. If they get past Pelham, it's a wrap, I think. But hopefully we can make changes. It affects our community, safety as well. And I've seen Carpenter improving with the parking, the alternate side. I don't know if there's been towing happening, but when I go down, it's not as bad lately. It's hit or miss. So those are my concerns for the community, safety and transportation. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Next up, we have Raymond Booker. Three minutes, Mr. Booker. Thank you.
Okay. I live on Compton Avenue between 241st and 242nd Street. Okay, the concern is cars parked there for a long period of time. When I mean long period of time, I'm talking about at least 2 months. I call it in, and under the New York City bylaws, a car cannot stay in one spot without moving for more than 7 days. The car came, traffic and police came by, gave a ticket, but it still sits there. And that's just one car, but quite a few cars on Carpenter Avenue. They sit there for a long period of time. I know if I ask for a petition to get street cleaning, most of the neighbors may not participate, because those are the same neighbors that have their cars parked there for their friends or whatever. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's Carpenter and where? Between?
241st and 242nd Street.
Okay, thank you. Next we have Leon. You have 2.5 minutes, Leon.
Good evening, everyone. This is my second time being in this meeting since this year. I'm not being taken seriously, and I have good intentions. I worked with the justice system before, and all I'm getting is just the running around here and there from different people with issues and crime, what I knows about and have information. And I don't care who wanna get sick and tired of me, but I'm not getting sick and tired I need the satisfaction and the justification what I needed. I even called the precinct to get the dates for the regular community meeting. I called morning, they transferred me to the community affairs line. Nobody answered the phone. I called in the evening. The officers at the front desk say they don't have that information for me. Call back later on. And I'm a working man, and I didn't have the time to go down there to get it. It used to be on my phone, the days for the upcoming community meeting. All of a sudden, all I'm getting, you have reached the community affairs department, please leave a message. I call morning, noon, and night, never get the dates to go in. I don't know if people have something what they're dodging or hiding. And my informations, what I have, are very valuable. I met Officer John Lane before and discussed a lot of issues to him. Detective Gonzalez know what's going on. Officer Strawn, Officer Slim, Officer Bell, and NCO officer, and Bronx narcotics officer. I don't know his name, but I have his number. And officer Colorado, and Officer Garcia knows about it too. And I'm just getting, no, I don't want to call no one name or give no special address to let nobody think that I'm trying to inform on them. I'm not getting the help what I need. And I work with 47 before to solve a homicide case.
Okay.
And now I'm not getting the satisfaction what I needed. I feel like I've been ignored.
Okay, Leon,
And it's not plenty people
Leon,
have the intentions like what I have, and I'm not giving up. I don't care who want to get tired of me.
Okay, Leon, listen. Okay, one thing. Your time is up. Your time is up, Leon. Leon, your time is up.
You see how
Leon,
fast they come and lock me
Leon, your
up
time is up.
arrest me.
Now, you need to speak to.
The only thing I'm getting is the running around.
Leon, Madam President, can you address Mr. Leon, please? She's the 47 precinct. Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Good afternoon. I'm Cheryl McNair from the 47th Precinct Community Council. I am the president. Leon has been with us. As you heard today, we're not sure of what the issue is. However, our next meeting is going to be May 13th at Eastchester Presbyterian Church on Fish Avenue. I believe it's 3154 Fish Avenue at 7 p.m. Leon, I'll be happy to speak with you to get you that information, and I'll speak with you today to try to understand what the concern is, okay?
I feel like I've been having this conversation too because I live on that block. So when we were in committee one meeting, I'm sorry if I overstepped, Chairperson, I apologize. I do. I said I apologize. But I feel like I've been having that conversation too. And when we had this conversation in that committee meeting, that was my thing, was what are we doing now to help what's going on Mickle? So I've had Mr. Campbell, I got this. Mr. Campbell, I got this. I got this. Please, I got this. I got this. Because if you stand up, it's going to make it worse, so just let me finish speaking, please. Thank you. We heard you speak, so please let me speak. I feel like that's respectful, right?
Okay.
So as I was saying, I had this conversation before in the committee meeting, and that was my thing, was that there's still ongoing crime, and I've had this conversation ongoing. So I understand Mr. Campbell's frustration, because sometimes when you're not seeing stuff happen in real time, you start to get upset. We have had one victory on Mickle, which is getting the new light, which was like a big deal for me because that's something that we have been waiting for. But now it's like, when is that light going to get installed? Because we know that it's not going to be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may be a month, it may be 2 months, or whatever it is. But the crime on that block is still going on. And it's a very ongoing thing, and it's concerning because if you go there at a certain point in night, it is pitch black over there. I deliberately don't walk over there after a certain time. And remember, I even gave the analogy of Mr. Softy in that meeting. I love me a good Mr. Softy, even though it's $4. But I will not walk over there to go get it.
Thank you, Dominique and Leon. So, Ms. McNair, you spoke with her, spoke with Leon. So hopefully we can get a resolution to this. No, Leon, that's it. It's over. Thank you. Next up, we have elected official representatives. We're going to go with Bianca Stevenson first from the Bronx Borough President's Office.
Good evening, Chair, board members, community. I hope I can get through this because I actually forgot my glasses and I need them. Sure. I'm not gonna say no. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Ha, perfect. Okay. All right. So thank you to all the board members who have scheduled their reappointment interviews. I am proud to say that all the CB12 reappointment interviews have been conducted, and we will be starting. We started new interviews for new applicants. You guys have some, some really good-looking applicants there, like good, no, not good-looking. That's the wrong phrase, but you know what I mean. Good possibilities. So, okay, so that will be going on until May, and then by the beginning of June, you guys, you will get a email from the borough president saying, status. We are also excited to announce that we are a few weeks away from the start of Bronx Week 2026, which is May the 1st to May the 17th. The office is incorporating both new and returning events into this year's programming, including annual silent disco, skate party, health day, and grand finale concert, parade, food and arts festival. Bronx Week is our opportunity to highlight the communities that make our borough great. The borough president is asking that members sign up and march with her for Bronx Week. Okay, there are flyers out front, scan the code, and also to stay in touch by following the borough president's office on social media. Also, the office launched the first Lights Out initiative in partnership with DOT to help identify and report malfunctioning street lights. That's the one that looks like this. There's a little QR code on the bottom. Any street lights you see, I know this board always talks about street lights out dark areas. Please report it and to this portal and get some repairs, get some replacements. Potholes also continue to be a major concern. There's like a literal pothole portal now. There's information in the front or 311. There's an online website to report just for potholes now. And I also wanted to flag this nifty seniors resource guide. So there's a few of them in the front and there's many of them in the office. It was too heavy for me to carry a lot, but I did bring about 20 of them, so feel free to look at it and, and request them from the office for your various community organizations we represent. So thank you very much. Have a good evening. Okay.
Thank you, Bianca. Next up, thank you, Bianca. Next up, we have Andy Tercios from Councilmember Kevin Riley's office.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? My name is Andy Turcios. I'm from Councilmember Riley's office. I'm going to start with a few pieces of legislation that I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. First is the legislation I think I brought up a month ago that we're still waiting for feedback on from the mayor's office, and that's Intro 0409. It's a local law that would basically incentivize Department of Transportation to post on their website specific bus stops and bus lanes, and then putting information as to when those specific bus lanes are in effect for. So people will be able to see when they're driving, if they're inquiring about a specific street, to understanding if it's a bus lane and then when in specific which time frame is that bus lane in effect for, and that'll essentially be put up on their website for people to view and see. Next, it's Intro 297 and Intro 280, excuse me. Sorry, these are two bills that Councilmember Riley is just co-signed on. These are bills Intro 297 and 288. 297 essentially requires an agency or office to be designated by the mayors to essentially be a consultant to the police department in order to provide religious or not-for-profit institutions with support in establishing and maintaining emergency plans. Such plans should include, but not be limited to establishing protocols to address threats of violence or safety evacuation procedures that might be needed. So I remember the last community board, there was a situation where it had created some kind of inquiry within yourselves about measuring the safety of your meetings. And unfortunately, the bill doesn't necessarily dictate whether that could be applied to community boards, but it's definitely something that if you would like to see in legislation, should definitely come to speak to us or our LD to inquire if that legislation should be altered or amended. And then Intro 388 is basically a hotline where people can report discrimination, harassment. This essentially will be created and monitored by the Citizens Commission on Human Rights. It will also track data as to the type of harassment, and that information will be improved outreach and support in terms of referrals. For budget, participatory budgeting has unfortunately concluded. A lot of the ballots that we made were done unfortunately online and also paper ballots. So unfortunately we didn't have time to inform you guys about it. But the projects will be announced at the end of June. And then for events, we're having a self-defense class over by 177 Dreiser Loop Auditorium. That'll be Friday, May 1st. There are two sessions that we're having, one for seniors and one for youth. For seniors, it's from 2:30 to 4:30. For youth, it's from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I didn't bring any flyers with me, but I will be happy to email you the RSVP and the flyer in case you want to share with anyone else. We're having a community conversation with Parks Department. That's going to be Tuesday, May 26th. As you know, the doors open at 6. We start at 6:30. It'll be outside of the park, inside the Parkside Cornerstone. That's 2972 Bronx Park East. That's Bronx, New York, 10467. And then finally, at the end of May, we're having a housing resource event. It's also a Know Your Rights, HPD in your district. We're going to be having a van outside out of Raymond Church. Essentially, HPD will be there to ask any questions regarding any harassment claims, issues in your specific units that have not been corrected by your landlord, and any way that they can assist you with that. So that's going to be 3360 Fish Avenue on Wednesday, May 27th, outside of Raymond Church, from 3 to 7. And that's it.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy. Next online, we have Ron Jordan from the Congressmember Richie Torres' office. Congressman Richie Torres.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say there's a couple of things that have just come through. Congressman Torres was able to secure $700,000 in federal funding for Hostos Community College to renovate its library. This is a critical investment serving over 6,000 students and will modernize a space that hasn't been significantly updated since 1990. The funding will expand access to technology and ensure students have the tools they need to succeed. Simply put, investing in our schools is investing in the future of the Bronx. Back in the district, Congressman met with the chair of the House Financial Service Committee ranking member, Maxine Waters. They had a NYCHA roundtable meeting to discuss how more funding is needed for public housing in the Bronx and throughout the country. They also visited Ponce Bank in the Bronx to meet with leaders of minority depository institutions and community developed financial institutions, lenders specifically chartered to serve low-income and underserved community that the biggest banks won't touch. We talked about threats to the CDFI fund, deposit insurance reform, and Trump's executive order that are making it harder for community banks to serve minority families. These institutions are the financial backbone of the Bronx. They deserve a Congress that has their back. He also invited advocates to his fireside chat in the Bronx on Sunday, and they are appreciative of the great relationship they have with Representative Torres and his staff. Together, we can end Alzheimer's disease. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Thank you. Next, we have Renell Ogilvie from Jamal Bailey's office, State Senator Jamal Bailey.
Hi, this is Renell from State Senator Jamal T. Bailey's office. Yesterday we had our food distribution. We have our food distribution at the office every fourth Wednesday at 959 East 233rd Street. If you know of anyone who is in need of food, just share the information that we have our food pantry every fourth Wednesday at our office. Also tomorrow in Mount Vernon, we have our financial literacy month panel. That is from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Doles Recreational Center. If you know anyone that's interested in that, you can share that information with them. Also, we were supposed to have our autism walk on Saturday, but due to the inclement weather, we had to cancel that. And then also in the month next month, we have our HPD mobile outreach van. That'll be right in front of our office. That's Thursday, May 7th from 12 to 4 p.m. And then we have another date, May 19th from 2 to 5 p.m. So if you have any HPD related issues, please come to our office or refer them to someone who needs a solution. So the issues could be preparing to apply for affordable housing, understanding your rights and responsibility, filing a housing complaint, financial improvements and repairs, register your building, remedy violation, and that's it.
Thank you, Renell.
You're welcome.
Okay, next up we have Anna Cohen from Jeffrey Dinowitz's office. Anna?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Anna.
I just wanted to flag that we have 3 community shredding events coming up next month that is available for anyone who would like to join. Our first one is On Sunday, May 3rd, in Kingsbridge, outside of Assemblyman Dinowitz's office at 3107 Kingsbridge Avenue from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then Saturday, May 9th, in Woodlawn, in front of the Emerald Isle Immigration Center Bronx office at 4275 Katona Ave, May 9th from 10 to 12. And then in Riverdale on May 17th from 10 to 1, the corner of West 235th Street and Johnson Avenue. And I will drop all that information in the chat, and we hope to see anyone there who has documents to shred.
Thank you. Next, we have Carlos Torres from District Attorney's Office, Darcel Clark.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone
Good
is doing
evening.
well. Carlos M. Torres, Crime Prevention Coordinator, Office of the Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark. I'll put my contact information in the chat box. This Saturday, April 25th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., we're going to be hosting our 9th annual Child Safety Fair. The event's going to be located at Moshulu Montefiore Community Center, the Cornerstone, over at 2972 Bronx Park East. And on May 12th, Tuesday, May 12th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we're going to be hosting our Reentry Employment Resource Fair over at the Northeast Bronx YMCA. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Carlos. So that's it for elected official representatives. There's no one else online, right? That's everybody? Okay, good. So next up, we have the a presentation by NYCHA, New York City Housing Authority. Are you online? NYCHA representatives?
Yes, good evening, everyone. This is Brian Honan from the New York City Housing Authority. And first, apologies for not being there in person, but I'm glad that you asked us to come tonight. And I'm also joined by Jen Steinberg, who's from Beacon, and also Susan Camerata from Wavecrest. They are our partners at Boston Secor. And before we start tonight, I just want to thank the community, especially to Tenant Association President Shemeka, Patrick, and all of the local elected officials for being so supportive of the residents at Boston Secor who went through a horrible tragedy on January 24th. Very early in the morning, there was an explosion in building 3475 Bavonia Street. Unfortunately, the explosion took one life. It impacted 324 tenants and really was a terrible incident. But happy to say that it really did show how New York comes together in times of turmoil, times of tragedy. All city agencies that were important were there. FDNY, HPD, DOB, NYCHA, of course our partners, the local elected officials. DOE provided space for the residents to go, and Red Cross was there in order to make sure that people had food and everything they needed during this really, really awful morning. Quickly, we were able to mobilize with the help of Beacon, with the help of Red Cross, with the help of the agencies that I mentioned before. That night, we offered all of the households, we offered them hotels, 131 households were offered hotel accommodations, and where they were kept and stayed in hotels until they were cleared to go back to the development.
Excuse me, Brian. Is there any way that you can turn your camera on?
Oh, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I can't. I had to. I'm where I am. It's just the connection isn't so good. I apologize.
Because we'd like to see you in person or at least on the screen.
Yeah, it's, I can, if you, hold on one second, if you give me a second, I could try to do it. I would have to come off and come back on, is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, you can give me a second, I'll do that.
Just let us know when you're ready.
You got it.
Do all you can, Brian. This is Robert Hall. I'd love to see you.
Is this better? Hello?
Okay, thank you, Brian.
No, bye. As I said, residents were offered hotel in the building that was impacted. They were also given meal vouchers and for the duration of their stay in the hotel. All residents in the impacted buildings were given meals for the first 2 weeks of the incident. And I'm happy to say that heat and hot water was returned to the development by that afternoon, by the afternoon of the incident. The entire development continues to experience a gas outage, but we are working with Con Edison and the Tenant Association to get away from gas in the development, and we're going to switch to electric stoves. This residents feel safer, it's cleaner, it's a better solution for Boston Seacor, and we're really happy to deliver that. The partial vacate order was lifted on February 9th, and DOB allowed residents to come back. Residents below the 13th floor and below were allowed to come back. 101 households came back. Those were households that passed inspection, HQS inspection, that is a federal inspection that is done. They have all come back. DOB signed off that the structure of the building was sound, and HBD also signed off on the apartments to allow residents to come back. We've held many meetings with the community, especially the Tenant Association, and the larger community as a whole. NYCHA, our PAC partners from Beacon and Wavecrest, the commissioner of DOB, and HBD representatives have been at these meetings. Our goal is to make sure that residents feel safe and secure in their apartments and in their development. But we also know that residents went through an awful trauma. And for this reason, our PAC partners have offered counseling services for residents to make sure that they get through this really difficult period in the healthiest way possible, and to make sure that their mental health is first and foremost. Residents were also offered stipends for property damage. They were given no questions asked, $2,000 for any damage that they suffered. If the damage was more than that, they had to provide receipts or some sort of documentation showing that, and on a case-by-case basis, the management company considered that. Tenants on floors 15 to 17 received a stipend that was double the amount
because that is those are the impacted floors of the explosion. And the last thing I want to say is this was a very tragic incident, but we know from the arrest that was made that this was an incident that was the cause of an individual who unfortunately stole a stove, removed it from the apartment illegally and unsafely. The gas traveled, and unfortunately, we saw this horrible event that took a life and did a lot of damage, both mentally and physically, for the residents at Boston Secor. We will continue to work with the residents at Boston Secor and the entire community to make sure that we get through this. With that, I'll take questions.
You have to use the mic. Use the mic.
Hello, hello. Where you at? Yeah.
Me? Oh yes, I'm
How-
returning from Washington D.C.
Okay. I really
so
don't care where you at. My concern is that, you saying that you're working on electricity. They've been having hot pots since January. And the last meeting that I went to, they said that they have to wait 2-3 more months. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? Like, that's better than Ozempic, them hot pots. People losing weight, man. Like, serious. What?
So we want to make sure that residents receive the service that they deserve, but they receive it in a way that is safe. There is no such thing as turning on gas quickly. But in looking at this, we, and in consultation with the Resident Association, we decided waiting longer and going with a safer and cleaner option with electric stoves was best for this community.
Yeah, but how long? How long? It's been since January. May is next week. How long, Brian?
Yeah, so we anticipate that this will go on, and we should see residents with electric stoves by the summer.
By the summer? How long? When? The summer's, when?
I don't want to give an exact
I think
date.
it's a little ridiculous, man. I think they don't even really need to be paying rent there, man. It's ridiculous, man. Seriously, man. It's so inconvenient, man. It's like, come on, how are you accommodating us? How?
So again, we want to make sure that this is done safely. We want to make sure that residents are, get the service that they do. And honestly, at the end of the day, they are going to have to wait a little longer, but they're going to get an upgrade in receiving a much more reliable stove, a guarantee of no gas outages in the future, and also much cleaner as well.
Okay, Brian, just try to get it done in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
Another question?
Yeah. Brian Honing, this is Robert Hall from Gun Hill.
Hello, Mr. Hall.
When did you decide to have mental health capabilities given to the residents of Boston Secor? Was that done initially, or when did that take place?
No, so it was not done initially. It did take some time to find the right provider, but that was announced at a community meeting on March 17th, and residents have been taking advantage of it. And it, it's a needed service, and I'm glad that they were able to provide it.
Okay, next question. Why is it that the residents had to go through the Red Cross to many of these hotels when in fact there was availability, and there's always availability within NYCHA? Is that too much of an ask? And let me give you an example. I have a lady who cleans the building in Gun Hill, and she lived in Boston Secor. But she had to take her family and move to Amsterdam Avenue and be to work on time. All right, and I did ask Eva Trimble why we in Gun Hill could not provide an empty apartment because we have a couple. And I was told that's definitely out of the question. Can you comment on this?
Yeah, sure. So, Mr. Hall, the priority was to make sure that people had housing that was safe and ready that night, right? Remember, we're talking about over 300 people, many of them children, many of them older. And while we do have vacancies, those apartments are not move-in ready. So we want to make sure that people had something that was comfortable, was safe, clean, and ready to be moved in. And hotels were our best option. We also sat with each person, and Red Cross did too, to try to make sure that people were given accommodations that were best for them. Sometimes it may, local. Some folks were placed in Manhattan. Some places were placed in Westchester. But paramount was to make sure that residents were safe, that residents were never went a night without a roof over their head, and that goal was accomplished.
Okay, now let's go to this agreement that the residents signed. Is there any truth to the rumor that there's a hold harmless clause that the residents who sign this agreement can no longer sue Wavecrest Management for any reason whatsoever by ascertaining these $2,000 funding opportunities?
So the agreement was explained to each of the residents. Nobody was forced to sign anything. It was $2,000, no questions asked. So whether you experienced damage or not, you were given, you were given the $2,000. If you felt like the damage was more than that, or if you felt like $2,000 was not fair, you could contest and apply for more money. But for many residents, they felt that $2,000 was sufficient, and they voluntarily signed.
Well, there seems to be a controversy. The reason I'm asking this question is because if they were not forced to sign anything, and of course you gave them their mental health, and they were receiving this mental health at the same time, all right? My question becomes, who in their right mind would be able to make a decision of this nature under those stressful circumstances?
So all the $2,000, and maybe Jennifer can help explain a little bit more, is related to property, right? It is not related to other things, but it's related to property. So so again, the agreements were explained to everyone individually. They voluntarily signed or did not sign. And some people, and we did hear from some people, I know people came, to my office as well, said, I experienced much more than that in damage, and they did not sign. And so it was voluntary, and it was also very generous.
Hello, hi, my name's Denise Echevarria. Did they have access to an attorney, or are you just saying it was verbally explained by you guys? And if so, what witnesses did they have? Because I'm pretty sure to sign a legal document of that magnitude, you need a witness, you need a lawyer, and the person who's signing it. You care
So
to
no.
answer my question?
Yep, I'm answering. Maybe, so I was not there, but I do not believe attorneys were provided for this document.
Okay, so you're factually giving us secondhand information right now, and you're violating those tenants' rights. And I'm appalled and disgusted that you said it was to cover damages. There's no covering damage of that magnitude of mental health and stress to these families and their children.
Once again, the $2,000 was not for mental health. It was not for other, other related damages.
So you're putting a price tag on these people's lives. These are desperate people who live in poverty already. Without an attorney present, you had them sign documents, signing their rights away.
It was for
Shame on you. You're disgusting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Honing, I just
Robert,
Yeah.
you know, other people have questions too, so I just
Oh,
want you to-
go ahead.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. Do your last one. Then.
Okay. One thing I wanted to know, and I will say this because I was with Keith Ramsey, and he speaks very highly of Wavecrest as far as Eastchester Gardens is concerned. I just want to know, as far as the New York City Housing Authority, how far is this bidding process going to go with Wavecrest management having the opportunity to ascertain housing developments? Can you speak on that?
Sure. I think you're speaking about the PAC program overall, right? It is, so far we have converted 30,000 units to PAC. Wavecrest is just one of our partners. They were our first partners, but we have many different partners. And our goal is to convert 62,000 units. We plan on doing that. PACT, or nationally it's known as RAD, is the only tool that HUD offers to modernize the developments. And once, I would like to invite members of the community board to visit the apartments at Boston Secor to just see the upgrades. If anyone is in the apartments before and sees them now,
Anthony, you can't yell. You can't yell like that. Let him speak.
Okay.
I was the other day, and the apartments are apartments that I would be proud to live in, and I think all of you would be proud to live in as well.
Come on.
Good evening, everyone. So, my name's Kimone Martin, and I've spoken to our board here and the community. Unfortunately, I'm sort of in a peculiar situation because I have experienced PACT, and I'm a huge supporter of the transformation of NYCHA housing around the city. And I think that PAC works. I think that PAC changes the lives of many residents in our community. But I also want us to acknowledge when our residents reach out for concerns. And one of the concerns residents have shared with us is that there were complaints of gas smell in the unit prior to the day of the fire. And we want to know as a board what the management team did in regards to that, how they addressed that, and if so, why then it led to the situation happening. These are rumors, of course, so are there call logs that show that residents did report the smell of gas prior to that day? And if there are no call logs, why is that so? But I want to just ensure that to our community here, programs do work and they are not perfect, right? They're not perfect. And so it's our responsibility to question NYCHA and the PAC team on what doesn't work. But I have personally seen these apartments and you'd be proud to live in them. What doesn't work, we want that fixed.
No, thank you so much for the question, and I agree. PACT is not. There is no such thing as a program that is a magic wand and a perfect program. But PACT is bringing modernization to many of our developments and bringing the services that people want. As far as the claims that there were smell of gas, I heard those too. I heard those on the day of the incident. I heard those in media reports as well. But when we looked at both 911 and 311 complaints, we did not see those. We also didn't hear those in the management office as well. So if it was, I'm not doubting everyone, but we do not have reports of that prior to the incident. This incident was not caused by leaking gas pipes. It was not caused by an infrastructure issue. This was caused by an individual who, unfortunately, improperly removed the stove, left the gas to spew upwards, and unfortunately, we saw the explosion.
Good evening. My name is Elise Murray. I'm Vice President of the Tenant Association in the Edenwald Development. We're no longer the projects, we're private, only owned. In the future, sir, do you think, but let me back up. Our apartments are beautiful. They are newly renovated, upgraded, and you would be very pleased to live into these apartments. And if anyone here would like to see a one-bedroom or two-bedroom, the president and myself can make that accessible for you so that you can see that. My question I have to you is, in the newly renovated apartments, there are gas meters in the kitchens. Will you guys work to enforce the RAD PAC programs to have those type of things in the apartments? I know you said that this was a person that created this issue, but I think that's a good start and a direction to have. I have a gas meter in my apartment, in my kitchen, so I just wanted to raise that factor.
So, so just make sure. I just want to make sure I understand the question correctly. Is it a carbon monoxide gas detector?
Yes.
That is a requirement that we have not only in our public housing, but also in PAC developments too. So there is a requirement to have a fire detector and carbon monoxide as well. And that is, of course, the safety that, definitely goes a long way and make sure that people feel secure in their apartments.
So you're saying that you will be making sure that the Boston Seacore developments will have that in their apartments going forward?
That is correct. And it's part of the HQS inspection. They have, there's one things that they check for as well.
Okay, Dominique.
Hi. I just had a quick question more so about prevention and also some mental health stuff. So my first question is, what are we doing to prevent this? Are the stoves going to be like bolted in or something so that somebody can't move it again? Because that's something that could potentially happen again. So I'm just kind of concerned about how do we prevent this from happening and also having that conversation.
So I don't know about bolting the stoves. I will tell you, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've never seen an incident like this before where somebody rips the stove out and causes something like this. Thank God I've never seen it before, and I never have. But it is a really good idea, and it's something that we'll take back and consider. Yeah, that's all I could say, but I can't commit to it tonight.
Okay, my other question is just around mental health. So are there going to be ongoing resources for everybody at Boston Seacore? Because as we know, trauma may not hit today, trauma may hit later on down the line. Everybody's not affected by trauma the same. So my concern is that maybe a year from now, somebody may be feeling something. So what are we going to do for the community in terms of mental health resources or ongoing mental health resources?
So the mental health does go on. It is limited, but it is but it is going on. Is there somebody, one of our partners, who could speak to how long the service is being offered at Boston Seacore? I really appreciate that. I don't have that in front of me.
Sure, no problem. Hi, Brian. Hi, everybody. I'm Jen Steinberg from Beacon one of the PAC partners at Boston Secor.
Can you
The
can you just repeat your name?
Sure, it's Jen Steinberg
Can you come on
at
camera
Beacon
as well?
Communities.
Can you turn your camera on as well?
Yes, give me a minute, please. No problem. Okay. Is it, am I on now? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, great. So the Boston Secor grief counseling is going on for 12 weeks. We have 3 sessions a week, and in addition to individual workshops along that time. So they're going on from March 5th through, I believe, May 26th is the last date.
I have a question. How many people are actually attending these sessions, or do you have a percentage, either or?
Right now, there have been about 20 individuals who've taken advantage of those sessions. We've mentioned them at all of the community board meetings. We put them in our FAQ that we submit. I say community board meetings because I'm here, the community meetings. We put them in all our FAQs that we've handed out, and we leave flyers in the community centers as well to make sure everyone's aware of those resources and can take advantage of them as they see fit.
What's the percentage?
There are 538 units at Boston Secor.
This she just did.
So a small
20
percentage?
out of 538. Okay, thank you. And
Correct.
wait, I'm sorry. And you said, what are you doing now to outreach the rest of these people that were affected?
For the outreach, we've mentioned the community board, excuse me, I did it again. We mentioned the grief counseling at all of our community meetings. We put it in the written FAQ that we handed out at the community board meetings that were very well attended. We leave flyers in the community rooms and in the lobbies.
May I suggest the same way you were able to reach these people to sign these documents, that you reach them individually as well with the same favor and give them some counseling, please?
We're very excited to do more outreach to get as many people as want.
No, I'm saying going
as
to
want
them
take advantage
individually.
of
The
it.
same way you got them to sign a document, you can speak to them individually about grief counseling.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Is that it? Nope. No other questions?
So I know that a lot of our community board members have not seen a packed renovated apartment. And Jennifer and our NYCHA representative, if an olive branch could be extended to have members tour an apartment over at Boston Secor, I think that would be great to sort of have our members understand what the apartments look like and what renovations residents are getting pre the fire and afterwards. I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, we'd be happy to do that. And Nicola from my office will work with George, and we can find time to do that. But look, we're really proud of the work at Boston Secor. We're proud of the work at East Chester Gardens. We're proud of the work at Eden Walls and Baychester. Really, I've been coming to this board before. I've been, visiting the developments before and after, and the difference we're making in the quality of life for residents is really impactful. And so we'd be happy to host.
Mr. Horning, just before you leave, and it's a very good point, all right, but I just would like the community board to be available to look into the situation regarding what took place in Wavecrest and what is being done to massage the situation, so to speak. And if they would allow us, we don't mind, but we just want to oversee it in the best interest of the community, if that's okay, Ms. Steinberg.
Okay. We have to go. We have to be done, Anthony. That's it.
Are there any more questions?
We do. Troy,
Leader.
you have a question, Troy?
Yeah, we're aware that NYCHA primarily manages and rehabilitates existing public housing rather than building new developments through the use of like PACT. But I would like to know if there are going to be any further changes to prevent fires, such as changes to infrastructure or like inspections.
So, again, I can't say that there's anything that could have been done different in this case. This incident was caused by somebody who is known to the tenant who was renting the apartment, had access to the apartments, and did something that was illegal. So I will say on the public housing side, we do have, for the first time ever, a fire prevention unit that is doing, um, a lot of things to make sure that our developments are safer. And in the PAC developments, just by upgrading them, just by modernizing them, they are safer in every way possible.
A lot of things such as what? You said you were doing a lot of things, like what? Like you said
Sure. So for literally decades, on the public housing side, due to having improper, sprinkler systems in our community centers and in fire prevention infrastructure, NYCHA had to have fire watch. What fire watch is literally is a person who sits in an area to make sure that there are no incidents. And if there are one, they would call 911 and the fire department. It's a tremendous, waste of resources. And it's something that just shows a failure, right? We have now invested money in those centers to bring them, to modernize them, to make sure they're safe and make sure that residents in those spaces are more secure. In each apartment, when we do inspections, we do something that's called a Five Alive. We make sure that residents have fire detectors. We make sure they have the carbon monoxide detectors. We make sure that that they have the window guards. There are, actually we call it Five Alive, but there are about 10 things that we're checking on. But they're all safety in mind. And those are things that we didn't do in the past, but we are doing now.
Okay.
I just wanted clarification. You repeated multiple times when we talked about the documents that the tenant signed that it was just with regard to property. So I just wanted to clarify if they sign anything that in any way impacts their ability to sue Wavecrest based on the incident that occurred.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay, so that was with regard to their property. Have there been any type of legal workshops available for them to have a better understanding of what their rights may be in that regard?
Throughout the PACT program, legal aid has been at I'm trying to remember exactly how many, but they attend most of the meetings. They have attended and been available for residents throughout the process and continue to do so. I believe they were in attendance at the March 17th meeting, though I'd have to confirm. And Legal Aid has contacted us on behalf of certain residents who've asked questions. So Legal Aid continues to be available to residents as part of the PAC process.
Okay, I think that given the nature of concern and the rumor that was bringing a lot of disruption for everyone here this evening, it would be nice to be intentional to have them available at the upcoming meetings so that those conversations can be had simultaneous with the arguments. And I think that, like Dr. Finn brought up, with regard to mental health services, something 12-week is definitely considered short-term, and we can understand that something this traumatic has long-term impacts. So seeing as though you only have 20 people attending, I would hope that we could discuss something where at least those 20 individuals have access to long-term care, and you continue to use the same efforts, right, like you did previously, to make sure they all understand that these services are available, and that they're flexible, because just as a social worker, I'm aware that a lot of the time things are available when we are doing other things like working or commuting, and we have unique schedules. So things available in the evening, things available in the weekend are also important. I understand that when you all contract in this way, sometimes you're limited with the hours, but there needs to be something available for people like those in the room. For example, we're all here. So if we needed services, it wouldn't only need to be not within the 9 to 5 day, but also outside of the evening where many of us also have obligations. I appreciate your time.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone. Thank you all for your questions. Seeing none, hearing none, we can move on. Okay, Anthony, but we need to quickly.
I just would like to please ask the Bronx Borough President. We took a walk. We took a walk around to apartments. I would like to see what she thinks about it. Yes, Vanessa, we did walk around and look at some of the apartments, what he's talking about, and I just would like to see what she thought about it. No, just as to the board, if she could bring that, her advice to the board, what she thought about it when she walked through, because she did walk, so I would appreciate that, and thank you for the time.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Nitya, Brian. Next on the agenda is we have the approval of minutes for March 2026. We're going to table that until May. Next, we have committee reports. No, committee reports.
Hello? Okay, where's my cue? Where's my camera? Get a good angle of me. Okay, so committee one. Oh, that's okay, we could do that. Um, so committee one, we met. One of our ongoing conversations, as many of you know, has been about the liquor license, of how, just real quick, the 47th precinct met with us and they wanted to know what can we put in our liquor license, our questionnaire, and our stipulations to ensure that certain establishments can follow the community board guidelines. Ms. Benitez put together a questionnaire that mostly everything was already covered that 47th precinct wanted us to look at. I have some additional things that we can amend in our questionnaire that, as I said, for the most part, that we have most of everything that they kind of inquired for us to go over. So quickly, I am going to go through some stipulations to be amended and added, and also I'm going to go over the questionnaire. So if you have not gotten a chance yet, you can probably double check with George if you want to see our existing one that we give to them. So in our stipulation, one of the things that we did put that I think that we should kind of revise The statement is the licensee will cease to use the services of a promoter. As many of you know, promoters are a common, legitimate way that hospitality industry uses to support their business. I think that we should revise it. And this is not going to be set. This is going to be revised, of course. The use of promoters will remain fully under the management and supervision of the licensee. Any promoter engaged will be required to adhere to guidelines set by the licensee, including crowd management practices, security coordination, and the community board standards. With that being said, that kind of allows promoters to provide the establishment flexibility, accountability, and business activity. And I think that is a better way to kind of compromise of when we're talking about promoters. I think that we should add into our stipulation, withdrawn applications will not be rolled over to the next month. We should also add that applicants must be present at the community meeting. Applications without completed information, including petitions and proof of postings, will not be heard at the community meeting. We have a lot of people who apply, sometimes they don't show up, and we want to make sure we're being mindful of time and mindful of applicants who would like to come in. The licensee will cease operating relating to the operation of a cabaret, which includes large-scale entertainment, bottle service, rope line, and dancing. I would like to revise that. I would think that saying that licensees does not intend to operate as a cabaret or a nightclub. Incidental or background music typical of a bar setting will be permitted, and any dancing that may occur will be limited, spontaneous, and not a promoted or primary feature of the establishment. The licensee will not engage in any activity requiring a cabaret or similar public assembly unless they have a permit or any other required permits. So that is our stipulation. I know this is a lot of information. And right after I go over the questionnaires, if anybody has any questions, you could definitely let me know. I think I'm doing a great job. Just to keep everybody's attention. You know, we're a good community board. We try to keep it together. So in the questionnaire we have currently, are there any buildings used primarily as school, churches, synagogues, or other places of worship within 200 feet of this establishment? That is great. I think we need to include mosque in that. Premises, we should also include the sidewalk cafe license. We know that a lot of places during the warm season, they're gonna start to come out. By what right does the applicant have possession of the premise? Is it owned, leased, subleased? We're gonna also speak of the type of building. Is it residential, commercial, mixed? We're gonna figure out the zoning. One thing that Alfredo was talking about is, you know, zoning and building, so we wanna make sure that we include that. Does the premise occupy more than one building, zoning lot, tax lot, or more than one floor? Will any outside area or sidewalk cafe be used for the sale or consumption of alcohol beverages? What is your proposed occupancy? Does the premise currently have a valid certificate of occupancy and all appropriate permits? If yes, what is the maximum occupancy for the premise? Because some people is fitting 200 people in places that I don't know how 200 people fit. If yes, what is the use of the group for the premise? If yes, is proposed occupancy permitted? Do you plan to file for changes to the certificate of occupancy? And they need to provide that. Will the facade or the signage be changed from what currently exists as the premise? So Ms. Benitez did the footwork and she did everything. And those are just things that we would like to add to that. I got the information also by our other community boards, which is kind of in line with what everybody's doing. Also, if we look at certain community boards, they have a website. I would like to work with our other community, standing committee, so we can probably put this on our website so they kind of understand the guidelines. So of course, we're going to give them this information when they come to our community board, but it will be very helpful and useful for them to have that before they come in, and then we could control the traffic. Does anybody have any questions? Okay.
Thank you. Next, we have Committee 3. Oh, hold on.
I just wanted to know if we were going to get a copy of this. That's it. Just so I have something so I can see. That was my only question.
Yes, I will provide a copy. I had it on my phone as a draft, so let me just like kind of work the words, and then because you are part of that standing committee, I would like to show you what that website looks like, so we can have something that is similar, not the same, because that's plagiarism. Um, and I will run the wording a little bit more so that it's a little bit more complete. I just did that for the board to kind of understand me a little bit better.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Talene Dickerson. We are no longer Committee 3. We are Public Health and Education. We, we have our meetings on the third Thursday of the month. We always center around the awarenesses of the month. And so we had Dr. Sherry Samuels and Karen Skinner Parks speak about autism. We also had Ms. Sheba Simpson Amsterdam discuss maternal health. In her discussion, it brought forth a discussion with Javed Malik on maternal health. So these are some of the things we wanted to share. Requesting local hospital advisory boards to come into the general board meeting to discuss rates.
A community board meeting, I decided I was not going to go to that wait.
Can you please mute yourself online?
Tony Bryant, remember I told you about the lady,
George, can you mute? Okay, thank you.
So where was I? Okay, to discuss rates of Black maternal health mortality and create plans to combat it through disseminating educational resources throughout the community. The second one was a call to action for local entrepreneurs and business leaders teaching workshops to consider doula programs as a career pathway, as they are highly needed professionals in our communities that have poor health outcomes for maternal health. We can brainstorm at the general board as well what these kinds of actions could look like and how to improve them. Dr. Diane Price also presented, and she brought up to discuss the availability of the post-birth warning signs and the doula program. So I'm going to give this to Dr. Finn so she can talk about the social media section of our committee.
Hi, everybody. I hope everybody has been following and has been seeing that Alpha has been posting very often. The only thing that we're just asking is that if everybody can also help out in taking pictures and doing interviews so that we have more footage for Instagram. So I'm going to hopefully next board meeting, if we could get a few people to just do a spotlight on so that we have some people to showcase and that we have some other stuff to showcase over the summer, that would be awesome. Thank you.
So just to end the information of the minutes of our meeting, the last part of the meeting was centered around something that's close to my heart, no pun intended. But we had, it's Donate Life and Organ Donation Month. So Dr. Darrell Nani and Dr. Diane Price Banks spoke about donations. And as you may or may not know, I am a transplant recipient, so I shared my story.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from Public Health and Education Committee meeting. I don't need to do a motion?
All right, everybody. So, any questions for Dr. Finn or Ms. T about public health and education? All right. Do your committees have any motions that you want to put on the floor? Okay. All right. So then we're going to circle back real quick. As we already noted, we have one committee that has a name. All right. That's awesome. So it's encompassing. In front of you, you should have a nice little handout. Right? Because I like tangible things, and it's recyclable. So nobody get mad at me talking about, oh, you in the environmental committee and you printing stuff. It's recyclable, right? Basically, on that sheet is just letting you know when your committee meets. So since two of our committees don't have names yet, it's giving you a breakdown of what committee that you could be a part of. If you don't have the sheet, don't worry about it. We're going to pass around extras. If you already know what committee you're in, you're good to go, and it has the dates and times of when you actually meet. If you want to change your committee, that's not entirely up to you. You have to actually put in a request with the chair if you would like to change committees or be on multiple committees. So to confirm, you have to be a part of at least one committee at the community board. But if you have the bandwidth and the strength to be a part of any other board, yes, please be a part of as many committees as possible, because with the more diversity of thoughts of the membership, we get to great resolutions like this. So I'm just going to simply ask, Committee 1, during your last meeting, were there any suggestions made about the naming of your committee? Right? Yes.
We didn't have quorum.
That's okay. We could just talk about the suggestions that were made. You didn't have to vote on it.
Okay, you want to know the suggestions? Cliff, I send it to you. You don't want to read it? No? Okay. I'm sorry. Put me on the spot. I'm nervous. Okay, there's about 3. There's a few. Okay. I mean, not a few. It's okay. Sorry. Thrive Committee is Thrive in all caps, right? Committee. It stands for Transportation, Housing, I can't pronounce this word right now. I'm sorry. Investment and Economic Viability. There's Connection Committee, which is collaborating on neighborhood needs, economic development, transit, infrastructure, and community outcomes for neighborhood equity. Yeah, that was a mouthful. Okay, so let's put that down. So another connection committee is coordinating neighborhood needs, economic trends, transportation, infrastructure, and ongoing community networks. Too long? Okay, cool. What about coordinating neighborhood needs, economic development, transit, and infrastructure? Shorter? Too long. Okay, so basically connection is just the acronym. And then the wording is what it stands for, because we're land use, housing, transportation, and economic development. So that's why it's kind of long, because I'm trying to make sure all 4 is there. Or we could just leave it at Thrive. But Clinton, you got it. So if you want to look at that, that's fine.
Can you
Thrive is transportation, housing. Hold on one second. I need backup. Say this word for me. I'm tongue-tied.
Revitalization?
Yeah, thanks. Don't judge me. I have an English major. Investment and economic viability. That's Thrive.
Okay, two other suggestions were municipal services, very straight and to the point.
Don't do that.
And community growth and infrastructure, very straight and to the point. Those. Okay. Thrive's a little long. Okay, Etonia.
All right. So
Thank you.
those
Ariel.
are all of the names. As y'all heard, there were at least 7. So that is not something that's up to us. You are the committee. meeting so that you can actually do a vote on it and then come back to us. Right? Right?
No, I just wanted to say one of the ideas of renaming is so that it's rather than seeing "Oh Thrive" and then they got to figure out what that is.
Right, and so everyone can know when they're supposed to attend their committee meetings. All right, those are not the names you gave me the other day, though. That's all I'm going to say.
She had a few thoughts. Like, she had a few thoughts between those days. Like, you know, creativity hits every now and again. Like, okay, so that was for the suggestions for committee 1. So now we're moving on to our remaining committee, which would be parks, safety, and environmental concerns. Now, the naming for these committees is open to the board. So if you guys have any ideas of what that should be renamed, you know, not speak now or forever hold your peace. Just literally make the suggestions to the committee itself as well as to the board here. Here is your opportunity literally to make the suggestions, because regardless, it has to go back to the committee from which it came so they can actually name themselves and then come back to us to let us know, well, not even just let us know, but put forward a motion for a vote on that name. Everybody good? All right, so here are the suggestions. I'm not taking Clinton's thunder. Would you like to say what the suggestions were at the executive meeting? All right, okay. So the suggestions were Community Wellness and Environmental Resources Committee, Community Safety, Parks and Environmental Stewardship. I like the stewardship part, that's cool. All right, Quality of Life, Parks and Public Safety Committee. So, all right, so those were the 3. Right? It was Community Wellness and Environmental Resources, that was 1. Community Safety, Parks and Environmental Stewardship, that was 2. And the last one out of the executive meeting as a suggestion was Quality of Life, Parks and Public Safety. Right? Yeah. Huh? The original name, oh, committee number, insert number. Oh, what, okay, so the committees was parks, safety, and environmental concerns. Just those 3. Hmm? No? Words. True. That is true. That is true. And that could also be a suggestion of literally parks, safety, and environmental concerns. That could also be a suggestion.
And if that's what the committee would like, then they can vote on that. All right. The next one, did you do committee 1? Okay.
Yep.
But did you give the suggestions that we had from the executive meeting?
Yes, sir.
You gave committee 1 those?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Did you hear our suggestions? Did you
Shall
hear
we go through? You know what? We're right here.
Do it
We're
again,
gonna go through it again.
please.
All right.
Committee 1.
All right. It was community. Okay, all right, everybody, real quick. Infrastructure, housing, and economic development. Community planning and development. Planning, housing, and economic development. Community growth and infrastructure.
Thank you.
That's exactly what he did. All right? But these are all great, viable options. But again, it has to be narrowed down in committee first and then brought back to the main board. Now, I'm going to lean this back over to our chair, because now that we have our 4 standing committees, right? So remember, it's 4 standing committees. It's the 3 committees that make up all the work, right? And then the new governance committee that we all voted for back in February. So remember, bylaws went from being an ad hoc to becoming a full standing committee, right? So in order for all of these committees to be able to function according to our current bylaws, each committee must have a chair and each committee must have a vice chair. Currently, we have co-chairs for each committee, because that was the structure that we all agreed to when we rolled this out in the previous years underneath the former chair. All right, so we voted earlier this year to keep the structure. Wonderful. We voted again to add another committee. Great. We still don't have no chairs for those committees, not outlined. So that's why I'm going to bring it back to Clinton so he can announce who are the chairs for the aforementioned committees.
Okay, so I'm going to go backwards from committee 3. Well, I'm just going to call it that for now. Public Health and Education Committee is Charlene Dickerson, chair, and Dr. Sherry Samuels, vice chair. For Committee 2, which encompasses parks, public safety. Well, right, you haven't had a meeting, and so I'm not there for that one yet. And Committee 1, we're working on that too. I haven't completed that one either. But what I wanted to announce was that we're having the governance committee. The governance committee is now consists of bylaws and discipline. Right. But I'm just gonna say, so I am appointing Denise Echeverria as chair and Bobby Link as co-chair of the governance committee. So we need to take a vote on that. And no, right, we don't need to take a vote. Yeah, you. Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I just want to make a motion. This is a motion very quickly to consolidate the Discipline Committee and the Governance Committee. And the point is that those things kind of go hand in hand. It makes sense, and it will encourage more participation by having those things consistent, because sometimes you don't have a disciplinary issue all year. Maybe there'll be a couple of things during the course of the year. It makes sense to all be done together, and then if there's rules that need to be passed during the year, that can be done at the same meeting. So I would like to make a motion for a single standing committee to be known as the Governance Committee, to be led by a chair and a vice chair, effective upon adoption of this motion. So we're going to have to roll that over till next meeting.
Table it.
Table it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, George. Sorry.
Okay, when you have a change in the bylaws, it has to go on the agenda, right? And then it has to be stated, and then the following meeting, then we're gonna vote on it, okay? So it has to go through the whole process, all right? Because the bylaws is a little different from, so.
Thank you.
So just for clarification, what we're doing is just voting next time around to change the bylaws.
Yes. No, but the thing is, it has to be put in the agenda,
Right, I
right?
understand that.
So that's gonna be,
But you don't need specifics. You
yeah,
just need to give permission for us to change those bylaws.
yeah, it's gonna be, so we're gonna have where it's mentioned in the first meeting. Then, so it's gonna take two months to actually go through the whole process.
Just real quickly, governance can still meet, because governance has still been assigned, and we do have a chair now of governance, so we can sit down at a governance meeting whenever Denise schedules the meeting, and we can go from there.
Karen, you're recognized. You're recognized. Use the microphone.
So my question is, does everybody have a copy of the current bylaws?
May I answer that real quick? So, On the paper that I handed out to everyone, that lovely little QR code actually takes you directly to the current bylaws. If you need the paper, or if you don't want to use the paper and you're fancy and you want to use your phone, you just go to our current website and literally click on our bylaws. They're one and the same. Now, in that same breath, right, this is now a duty that is absorbed by our new governance chair and vice chair, but not just them. The committee is now responsible for maintaining the bylaws, which means also updating it. So if you are interested in being a part of that committee or working on that task, please let Denise know, please let Bobby know, please let our chair know, so that we know who is actually in which committee and who has certain interests in other committees. Because everyone here has a position, in the real world, right? But that doesn't mean that that's only the thing that you stick to when you're here. You can go to different committees because your talents and your input is just as valuable at those committees as well, that may not be akin to what you normally do in your day-to-day. Right? Okay. Y'all
Thank you.
welcome. All right. I will definitely ask George right now for more copies.
So with that said, I need to know, because we have to appoint to the governance committee, and I need to know if anyone is interested in being on the governance committee, and I need to know if everyone is on a committee at this point. And if you're not on the committee, I need to assign you to a committee. So
If you're in, because, oh, okay, this hasn't been spoken about yet. It's not on the agenda, forget it. Because I was going to say, if you're on a committee, that you automatically become a part of another one, but it's okay.
you can be on more than one committee. Is that what you're asking? Okay. Okay.
You're probably doing too much, so you might. No, no, no. I'm saying you don't want to get overwhelmed. Yeah.
So I had a meeting with the borough president's office, and the attendance came up about the attendance of the board members, and I think we're about 50%. So they said that they were going to have conversations with some people, but I just, as a reminder, I just wanted to say in-person attendance is a core duty of every board member. This is my chair's report. A core duty of every member. While we offer a virtual option, it's intended primarily for emergency situations and for members with physical disabilities that may prevent them from attending in person. Our work is most effective when we are physically present, engaged, and connected with one another and with the community that we serve. For those who must participate virtually, please remember that the cameras must be turned on. Cameras must be turned on. Cameras must be turned on and remain on for the full duration of the meeting. This ensures accountability, transparency, and active participation, just as if you were seated in the room. Board members are required to notify the community board office when they cannot attend the meeting and request an excused absence for a valid reason. Additionally, if you will be joining virtually, please inform the office in advance so that we can properly record your attendance and ensure compliance with our board open meetings procedures. So I just want to say thank you. We all volunteered for this service. We know that life can get busy, but we must remember that we are a collective, a team, and our strength comes from showing up for one another and for the community we represent. Together, through our commitment, we can continue to make CB12 stronger, more responsive, and more united. So I just want to say our attendance needs to get better at the board. We're going to get new board members probably in June, as they said, and we need to set a good example for them and not just think that the virtual is an option when it's really not an option unless you have a disability or you have an emergency. It's not just because you don't want to come or you don't want to show up that day. So I just wanted to put that out there again. I like to talk about that regularly. Microphone.
re-interview, and they've had me down at 50%, and I know I'm here more than 50%. So their record keeping, at least for me, is not accurate.
Well, they get the sheets from us. So.
It's not accurate. That's all
Okay,
I'm saying.
I'm just saying that they
Yeah.
get the sheets from us. It's not their record keeping, it's our record
Yeah, but we're
keeping.
not always taking attendance.
Well, we always take attendance.
Always?
No, that we
Did you
always
take
take attendance.
attendance
We
today
always
before I
take
got
attendance.
here?
We always take attendance.
Well,
Always. She has the attendance sheet right here. We always take attendance. Okay, so that's what I had. New business. So for new business, we're gonna have a update on our community resource fair from Dr. Finn.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to make this quick. So I got a flyer. I'm sorry it's not in color, but I do have a digital copy for the Community Connect resource fair. So if you see on here, there's a little QR code because we try to be fancy and technologically savvy. You can scan the QR code, and I made a Google Doc so that basically if you want to be a vendor, all of it will be on the Google Doc and it'll come to me so that I could reach out to them. If we could get different community things, small businesses, resources, anything, just tell them scan the QR code or reach out to me. My number is also at the bottom of this too. I have about 10 of them, so I'll start handing them out. The date is June 27th from 12 to 4 p.m. So I'm gonna say it again, June 27th, 12 to 4 p.m. If I can just ask one more thing of people, if I could have a small volunteer group to help me on that day and kind of manage stuff, that would be awesome. And a small group of people also to just kind of help me navigate some things. Say that again? What happened? I'm gonna try. If you wanna help, you know what.
Thank you. Dr. Finn, one thing, does it cost to be a vendor?
That is a great question that you asked. It is free to be a vendor, so please come, vend for free. The whole point of this is to come out and see a business in our community.
So we're doing community resources and small businesses. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I haven't gotten any feedback on our community board night out. There was a suggestion that the place that was chosen, that we should consider other places in the community, but nobody. I mean, I did get Rambling House, and that's it. Just Rambling House and Triple Deuce. So I'm still looking for feedback on that, so we can try to go out sometime soon, hopefully before the end of our fiscal year. We don't have a date because we don't have a location. Well, our last meeting is in June, so we're off, off for the summer. But I'd like to get it done before that, you know. So if anybody has suggestions, please notify me so we can try to figure that out. Thank you. Well, we would like all the board members to come. Well, we got to see how many board members want to come. I can't give you that number right now. I can't. And again, on new business too, I would like to do a little more collaboration with our elected officials and invite them to some of our meetings, joint initiatives, and accountability expectations of them, our accountability expectations of them. So we'd like to see them more often. Well, we'd like to see our elected officials more often. So we're going to reach out to them to try to get them to attend a meeting. Maybe they can come by before we wrap up for the summer. Okay? Everybody good with that? Now you had a question? You're gonna handle. You're gonna do new business. I mean, okay. Denise has something she wants to express.
I would like to respectfully make a motion, but I would like to explain why. I've been coming here for about 6 years now, I believe. 3 years, this going on my third year as a community board member. And prior to that, 3 years, I was attending via Zoom. I've never known the district manager to come up with an evaluation, and I'm asking respectfully that we do. And it's not just to bring out anything negative. You know, we can bring out something positive as well. But I think because he works for the Community Board 12, that good feedback, constructive feedback from the community board members would be helpful. So I would like to make a motion that the district manager comes up for evaluation by Community Board 12.
Use the microphone.
I would like to second the motion. So the current motion on the floor is to have an evaluation, a completely fair and transparent evaluation of our district manager's work. So that would literally be from the beginning of your term, okay? Anyone that wants to do a retro evaluation, we're not saying you can't do it, we're just saying that that's not what we're asking for right now. What we're asking for right now is for an evaluation of this year of his work. There will be a survey that will be available that every other community board utilizes to evaluate their district managers. Because as Denise was saying, you know, it's been a while. George has been with us how many days?
Well, reason why I'm asking, because I've known several excuse me, I'm have the floor right now. I've known several community boards that do a yearly evaluation of their district manager. And again, I'm saying respectfully because, you know, constructive criticism can only help our community board 12 grow.
Right.
And that's the only reason why I feel this is necessary. In the whole 6 years, I can only speak to what I know. The whole 6 years, I never once known the district manager to come up for evaluation on Community Board 12.
Who seconded it?
Sure. Right? No, she's just asking for some type of clarity.
Yeah.
And we have to take a vote before you leave.
You're right. This is my question, Johnny Goff. I was going to say it's a nice suggestion, okay, but I think it should be voted upon openly, not privately, openly.
It is.
Before we do that.
That's what we're getting ready to do.
And I don't know if we'll be able to do it this term because it's almost the end of the board before we close down.
Well, that's the time to do it, and there's already a motion on the floor.
I have the floor now.
Okay.
I understand that, okay?
We're going to take the vote now.
If the board want to vote on and say we do it for 2026, we're fine. I'm fine with it because
Okay.
I do evaluate.
Okay,
We
so-
evaluate the superintendent.
So
and
it
we
was
evaluate
seconded by
everybody.
Etonia.
Do it the right way.
Second, you got that right. Second by Etonia. Denise brought the motion. What? So Judith.
Judith Benitez, aye. Carla Basadi. Carla Basadi. Patricia Boswell. Patricia Boswell. No, she was on virtual. Yeah, she was on earlier. Patricia, are you in? No, I see her. She's in. I know, I see her. Patricia Boswell, are you answering or not?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you voting aye, nay,
Oh,
abstain?
I'm voting aye.
Thank you. Joan Claude? For the evaluation of the district manager. Terry Cotton? Etonia Davis?
Aye.
Tolene Dickerson? Tierra Donaldson? Yeah, She's, thank you. Denise?
Aye.
Jocelyn is excused. Alfredo? Sabrina Fisher? I know. Excused. Johnny Goff? Sheila Grierson? Abstain? Thank you. Robert Hall? John Isaac? Alpha? I haven't seen Alpha, so he's absent. Okay. No. Robert Link? Javi, I haven't seen, he's not present. Mark is not present. Lucille Martin? Kimo? Nay? Thank you. Maine? There she is. Yeah. Antoinette, I haven't seen at all tonight. Philomena? Philomena? She left? Not present. Elise Murray? Hi. I see. Daryl, was Daryl on virtual? No, not present. Carmen Ortiz, I saw you.
Abstain.
Abstain, thank you.
Yes.
Wayne Palmer? Wayne Palmer, thank you. Reginald Paris? Ariel Peters? Dominique Feeney? Nicholas? Aye. So Sherry Sanders is excused. Karen Skinner? Carl Sturker, not present. Banga? Luke is excused. Troy? Gotcha. Deborah? Serrato? The ayes have it. Clinton Mike? Okay, the ayes have it. The motion preceded.
Oh, Anthony. Let me call Anthony.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anthony Reed. Anthony. Okay, you got it.
The motion on the district manager evaluation is passed. Thank you, everyone. One last thing I have to say, though, about this attendance. We have to clean this up. Please, please. And I know I'm speaking to the choir because you're all here, but we have to clean this up. Okay? Thank you. Karen?
Well, yeah, answer, that's the same question. I thought there's a format already put into place in the Bronx Borough's office, isn't there? Right. So there's already a format put into place from the Bronx Borough's office that community boards use. Is that right? You're here, right? You're represented Bronx. And there's a format that's put into place that we can use to evaluate the district manager? Okay, she said she'll get back to us, but it's been my understanding, I've spoke to other community board.
Thank you.
Denise, you're absolutely correct. There is a format, right? And we're going to be using all of them, but we're going to concentrate on a survey that literally encompasses all of them. So the same way where Ariel did that great job of taking what Ms. Benitez already had when it came to the licensing of permission survey, there's a survey that also already exists for community boards where they made their own based off of what was at the borough president's office and off of other community boards. But the one that we have is very extensive. So I'm allow Clinton to further elaborate on that because it's basically about 20 different questions, more or less.
The evaluation?
Yeah,
I
'cause
believe so, yeah.
Yeah. And the scaling is still 1 to 5.
Right.
So and there's also a space for notation. Now, this can be completely anonymous or you can put your name to it, but we do need to have these back from every single board member. Because again, as Denise said, the critique isn't just bad news. It is a critique, meaning it can be as positive,
Right.
it can be constructive,
Okay.
it can be informative, or just like, or literally a push of that you're doing the right thing already. But nobody gets that feedback regularly. And our district manager hasn't received any feedback since he became our district manager about what he's doing that's already working and what he could be doing better. And he deserves that.
Okay. So we're going to get that done.
I'm sorry, just a point of information. They do have to sign in once the document is submitted, so we know that it was fairly given, and each and every community board member has signed one.
Okay. All right. So one last thing, as I asked before, if you're not on the committee, please notify me. You can email me, and I'll assign you to a committee. I have the list, but some people have expertise in different areas, and I'd like to place them where their expertise is if they're already not on a committee. CL Mike, MYKE, cb.nyc.gov. Thank you. So, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? What happened? Who made the motion? Okay, thank you, Deborah. Everybody have a good night. Get home safely, please.
Everyone, have a blessed week.
Good night.
everyone.